Wonder Girl, issue number 3. That's right, after what feels like forever. Does this book come out monthly or every second month? I can't remember, but it's been so long since I had some Yara Flor in my life. You guys know I have been a Yara Flor fan since day one. Since they made the Future State book, since they introduced the concept of this character, I've been on board with Yara Fleur, and I continue to be one of the biggest supporters and advocates for this book. I absolutely adore everything it does, and I really like this issue. First off, it just kind of like establishes a larger world that Yara is going to be dealing with in the continuing story of this book. You know, it sets up a lot of interesting stuff that I'm very excited to look into. Let's get into it. So we pick up where we left off, and it's like, okay, the plane kind of crashed down. I believe this man's name is Yao. I had some people in the comments helping me out with the pronunciation of this name. I'm still not 100% on. I think it's Yao, and if that's it, good. I'm going to call him Yao because I think that's how you pronounce it. He comes to find Yara, and he's like, okay, that was weird, but they kind of kiss because Arrow's kind of like struck her with the arrow, and it's like love at first sight and all that stuff. And they're just trying to like still evade his oncoming threat that is Arrow, so as he's attacking them with the arrow. So they go deeper into this forest, and we see that Eros is kind of attacked by this big spirity lightning serpent thing. Pretty much like the forest of like the Brazilian Amazon is coming to life and attacking Eros, who of course is of the Greek pantheon, playing with like the Olympus stuff, which we'll come back to at the end of this book. So Yao and Yara go deeper into the forest, and Yara's just trying to figure out like what is going on here. She kind of like runs deeper in, and like these spirits and creatures of the forest start to come alive, like the serpent finds Eros still. We see like these butterflies following Yara, these big creatures and ghouls, all these different monsters and things, like a wolf creature. There's like a smoking person in the back, like this skull with faces, and we see that somebody that is talking to Yara is this old-looking crocodile person. Now, I say it's an old-looking person because they got a Yoda cane, and when you got a Yoda cane, you're an old person, right? That's the thing. But they got like a weird crocodile head, and there's like, oh, finally, you're here, child. I have been waiting for you, Yara Fleur. I'm so pleased to meet you at last. And Yara's like, okay, I don't have time for this. She whips out her weapon, and she's ready to come swinging in and attacking whatever this creature is. Cut to elsewhere in whatever's going on. Cassie and Artemis kind of like stumbled upon each other on the hunt for Yara. They're getting attacked by these other Amazons, and basically we just get a nice fight scene where, you know, Cassie's holding her own but not doing the best in the fight, but Artemis is pretty much kicking ass against these women. And when the fight's done, you see that Cassie's just super excited to realize that this is Artemis she is talking to. Which leads me to this question, and maybe somebody in the comments can answer it. Is this really the first time Cassie and Artemis have met, or are we like shoving in this new rebirthed idea that they never met in the new continuity? Because these are both characters who are kind of like staples of that certain era of Wonder Woman. And are you telling me that these characters have never met before? Because Cassie is super interested in like teaming up with Artemis. Have these two never worked together before? Whatever. I'm okay with it either way. But they're going to team up for the most part because Artemis doesn't know where she's going, but because Cassie's like a smart girl, she knows exactly what's going on. As we cut back to the Amazon rainforest, Yara is getting ready to wield her big weapon and vanquish the foe, but as she throws it, something I notice here is just like she does like the war cry. I'm not going to emulate it for you, but I will put up the picture so you can see like exactly what I'm saying. I think that's just like a cool little thing to add in here. Just adds like, yeah, Yara has a different identity than some of these other Amazons, so she's going to have a different kind of war cry that's a little more, you know, I don't want to say tropical because that doesn't sound right, but it's a little more like, you know, Brazilian, South American in that regard. So she kind of like throws her weapon. The wolf creature's just like, okay, that happened. Didn't really do a good job. So she's kind of just like, the forest obviously wants me for something. I'm so confused. But she's going to walk away. She's going to take Yao with her. But then she looks up and sees Eros just standing there and is like, whoa, I'm compelled by something. I don't know what it is, but something is making me say, I have to go with this guy. Arrow stabs her with another arrow, and suddenly she is locked onto him and interested in him in the way that she was originally interested in Yao. And basically, you just get this really fascinating page where you just see, like, obviously Yara doesn't want to go with Eros, but because she is compelled by it, she's now leaving her own pantheon in a sense, and that's like what we're seeing when she's leaving Yao. It's like, okay, we're leaving this guy, we're going with the white dude, we're headed to the Olympus, whatever that's going to look like. And also we see this creature tugging on the leg of Yara, and this is basically that I can't remember her name, but we do see this creature, this woman, this weird pixie person that has appeared in the Future State books. I'm guessing it's like the first time Yara's meeting this creature. She's like, you have to stay here. Look at everything you're doing here. Your destiny is here. It's in this soil. If you leave this world, you might be lost. It's your sacred duty to protect us. And this creature isn't going to make her to stay. So Eros pulls her away. She leaves Yao and literally sheds a tear as she is leaving him, and the love is dying between the two of them. And they just head out on their way. And then we cut back to Cassie and Artemis, which was a really fun combination. Again, it seems weird that these two haven't met before. I don't know. It's just like, because they just play off each other so well, you know, like the big sister, little sister dynamic. And you'd think in like the history of these people they would have met. But so they're just hanging out in like the, what do they call it, the Iguazu Falls. And we just see that they are attacked by another Amazon, obviously of the same tribe of Amazon that Yara is born of. But he gets the jump on Cassie, but Artemis gets the jump on this other one. Now, they don't specify it in this book, but this could be, I can't remember like the exact look or aesthetic of the other Amazon. So in the Future State, in like the second issue of the Future State book, we see that Yara is going to the afterlife to find her sister, which is like her best friend. Is this going to be that girl? I can't remember if like the specifics of how she looks, but I could see that being, we're introducing Yara's larger universe in here. It could be that person we're seeing. But before that, we do have to head over to Mount Olympus, because it wouldn't be a modern Wonder Woman book without Olympus. And basically, Yara's just like, you didn't have to make me change it to this outfit. This is really weird. I don't want to be here. But Eros is like, you just shut up. You're meeting a goddess, okay? Enough bullshit. Let's just meet the goddess. And again, we're setting up kind of like this weird story with like the feuding Amazon tribes, and it all comes back to Hera, which is kind of who we are here to see. And Yara's like, I'm meeting a goddess? Like, who am I meeting here? This is insane. Who could I possibly be meeting here? And we see that the person she is meeting is, of course, the goddess Hera, the Amazon above all Amazons, for some reason looking a lot like Nicole Kidman. Don't know if that's intentional or not, but it's just got a Nicole Kidman vibe when Hera walks onto the scene right here. Interesting choice. So, Yara left her own pretty much pantheon and has now come to Mount Olympus. If this ties into the Wonder Woman book where she just saw like all the Olympians die, I don't know. But I think this is a very fascinating choice for this book, and I'm curious to see where it goes. So that's a really interesting place to end this, and of course, it goes without saying. At this point, I don't feel I have to say it, but Joelle Jones's artwork is just immaculate. Like, it is some of the most breathtaking and beautiful things you've ever seen. Jordi Belair does the colors on this book, and it just sparkles with each scene. Each character stands out perfectly. The facial expressions, everything about the aesthetic of this book is so gorgeous. It is one of the nicest looking books on shelves, and I just love that we're using these different characters in the Wonder Woman mythos to tell a very compelling story. Yara Flor is a character that I've been there since day one. You know, I like this girl a lot. I think she's a very compelling lead. And throwing her across the entirety of the lore of Wonder Woman is really helping her build up her own mythos, because now we're like, okay, we remember this like weird pixie sprite character from our Future State book. Now there's a weird Yoda crocodile and a werewolf and some weird smoking guy in the background. We got a love interest in Yao, and maybe Eros is going to have some connection to her mythos now. It's very cool stuff that we are establishing in this book that is just perfect for a new character. It's not super egregious where it's like shoving in all this other stuff from Wonder Woman lore. It's like, yeah, this makes sense. If this new Wonder Girl comes on the scene, the previous ones are going to want to know what's going on for their respective Amazonian queens. It makes sense. I buy it, and I love what this book presents because it just flows perfectly and it looks gorgeous. Read it. You know, if you are looking for a certain itch you need scratched, which is kind of like sort of CW, sort of Percy Jackson, but all around Wonder Woman, this might be the book for you that gets you into a new type of lore. And it is learning about different pantheons, you know, some Brazilian stuff, the rainforest stuff. It's very cool. Check out Wonder Girl. It is worth it. It is worth it. I will champion this book forever unless it steadily declines, which I doubt it will, because Joelle Jones and Jordi Belair just knock it out of the park with the artwork and colors on this. So, Wonder Girl, issue number 3. Again, like a lot of these books, I'm going to give a 10 out of 10. Perfection in a comic. So thank you guys for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, and I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.